Welcome to the Retirement Halftime Show. I am your host, Alexander Joyce, President, CEO of ReJoyce Financial. You would not play the second half of a game the same way you did the first, especially if you've got the lead. As it relates to retirement, and many of you have that lead, so what do? We maintain it. Maintain your lead in retirement. Stick around. We've got a great show for you. I think that one thing that we pride ourselves as a firm, right, is leading by education.
Sure.
And kind of trying to take that worry away. Because as I've always said, if inflation's at 3 and you're getting 1, well, we're losing 2. Yes, we're going broke safely, right? But a loss is a loss. There's always people that want to know, do I have enough? Should I have more?
Yeah.
Do I need it?
Can I drop what I have?
Should I drop what I have?
The Retirement Halftime Show starts right now. Retirement Halftime Show. Maintain your lead in retirement.
You're watching the Retirement Halftime Show. I'm your host, Alexander Joyce, and of course with us, co-host Alex Clark. And one thing that I know that you wanted to talk about, and I know a lot of our viewers and our clients love talking about as well, is our vision. Right? In terms of, the ReJoyce roadmap, as we call it, making sure that our clients have a defined destination in their retirement before they just turn it on, right? So I think that, and then that you wanted to speak about that just a little bit.
Yeah, there's a lot of people, I guess, that come into our office, as you know, right? They don't know what to expect, right? Kind of the direction that we work with our clients, how we lead them. And that can be fearful for a lot of people, not knowing, right? I'm getting or nearing retirement, and what's next?
Sure.
So, just to know that we have the process or our vision, kind of how we like to lead our clients, that can help take that ease away. And you do a great job at our seminars, kind of letting people know what to expect moving forward.
Yeah, I appreciate that, Alex, because I think that one thing that we pride ourselves as a firm, right, is leading by education.
Sure. And
kind of trying to take that worry away, because I think what most clients or most prospects or most people in general approaching retirement, they simply don't know what they don't know.
Exactly.
And I always like to kind of lean on a AARP statistic where I read, this goes back a couple years ago, but it still relates to today, where it said that 73% of individuals almost retired or in retirement have yet to sit down and speak to an advisor of any kind.
That's alarming.
Isn't it? But the fact was, interestingly, the 27% of individuals that actually did take that leap of faith and go out and meet with an advisor, the 27% that did met with that advisor, they came back home and their friends and family circled around and said, how'd it go? You know what they said? I had no idea what that guy was talking about. So I think that there's the pressure is on us, right? I think the pressure is on us to give these individuals that are near retirement, getting ready to retire, have been retired for a decade.
Sure.
Give them the peace of mind that, you know what, maybe they should pick up the phone and call us. Maybe they should read our book. Maybe they should come to one of our educational events. Maybe they should educate themselves, because they simply may not know what they don't know. And having a roadmap in retirement and a plan is a peace of mind.
Yeah, and that's one thing that I think that we do really well. I've seen a lot of other people's work. Drawing that plan up, that roadmap, as you would call it, something we can come back to, evaluate, kind of milestones, if you will.
Absolutely.
Review. It gives us a lot of great conversations to be able to have with our clients, our prospects.
It does.
To make sure they're headed in the right direction.
And I think you're right, and I think you hit the nail right on the head, because a lot of things are going to change.
Sure.
Reviews do need to be had. I think that the old school cookie cutter mentality, right, in this industry as a whole, and listen, this is just my opinion, but I think that once you have become somebody's advisor and they've given you that trust, I think that what we need to do, all of us in the industry, is we just need to do a better job of maintaining that leadership role.
Sure.
For our clients and for people that have taken that leap of faith to come into our office to talk about their life's work.
Exactly.
Right? And so once we develop that plan, as you mentioned, we have to be realistic with our clients, and we have to be honest and make sure that we're relaying that message in terms of things are going to change. Reviews have to be had. The positions or the plan today it could possibly be the complete opposite plan in 10 years.
Yeah, it could be most likely that it changes.
Right, people are going to come into their lives. They're going to have grandchildren if they don't have them, right? There could be blended families along the way.
Exactly.
Taxes and things of that nature are going to change. RMDs are going to rise in terms of required minimum distributions where they're forced to have to take distributions, which is a hot topic, and we'll talk about that, I'm sure. But I think that the fear factor in terms of not having a plan, and the fear factor about walking into a stranger's office, and the fear factor about
becoming full disclosure, right? I mean, laying out all their finances. Some people may not think they've accumulated enough to do the things they do.
Exactly right. And you know what's interesting about, not to cut you off, right? But you know what's interesting about that is that mentality or that mind frame or that thought process in terms of do I have enough relates to everybody.
Yeah, it's a common question.
That? It is. It can relate to the farmer down the street, right? It can relate to the grandma that put her grandkids through college, that's developed, $100,000, or the guy down the street that just retired from a very large pharmaceutical manufacturer and has $10 million.
Exactly.
It's do we have enough, in the fear of making sure that enough will last the rest of their lives.
Yeah, and that enough looks different to everybody, right?
It certainly does. So let's pause there, and I'm sure we'll come back to this. Sure. But Alex, I really appreciate that. But folks, stick around. There's a lot more to come.
The Retirement Halftime Show. Maintain your lead in retirement.
I'm Alexander Joyce, President and CEO of ReJoyce Financial. If you're in retirement or near retirement, with all life's changes, it never hurts to get a second opinion. Managing expectations is the foundation of a prosperous relationship. Our goal is simple. We want to get to know you. So pick up the phone and make an appointment for a complimentary visit. There is no cost, no obligation. We simply want to get to know you and see if we can add value to your life in retirement. We can discuss topics like income planning, sequence of return risk, taxes and estate planning, Social Security maximization, and much more. Let us help you develop strategies that can develop a successful retirement. If you want to know more about successful retirement strategies, then call now, schedule a visit, and let us help you rejoice in your retirement.
The Retirement Halftime Show. Maintain your lead in retirement.
You're watching the Retirement Halftime Show. I am your host, Alexander Joyce, and we want to discuss our blueprint. A lot of individuals call in, or we get a lot of questions through our website, and people just kind of want a better understanding about some of the services that we provide, some of the solutions that we have for our clients. So what we wanted to do is we just wanted to take a few moments and go through what we call the retirement blueprint. Okay, we're not going to dive into specifics, but this will kind of give us an overview of what to expect. Managing expectations is everything. Okay, so the first piece that we want to understand, now make sure we understand this is after we've done a proper discovery. Okay, so there's no necessarily no sequence here, if you will, but just an outline of some of the solutions. So the first one we believe is very important. That's the income planning process. So we want to have a better understanding about what your income foundation is, what your lifestyle looks like, and how we can fill any type of gap. So if there's a $30,000 fixed income or an income foundation, but your lifestyle equals $60,000, clearly there's a gap in the middle. So what we want to do is we want to build some type of income plan to make sure we fill that gap and give you peace of mind and a roadmap to look at and say, you know what, out of this strategy, in utilizing this process, the likelihood of me outliving my money is very slim. One of the ways we do that is we use, and you may be familiar with this as well, but a Monte Carlo analysis. And that would give us about 1,000 or more simulations based upon historical events and give us a probability, if you will, of outliving your assets or outliving your retirement dollars, because that's important. Nobody wants to change their lifestyle and nobody wants to modify things. But if we can make changes along the way through a review process, that's imperative. The next piece is making sure that we're keeping up with inflation. Now, it's very natural for individuals to become more conservative in retirement, but as I've always said, if inflation's at 3 and you're getting 1, well, we're losing 2. Yes, we're going broke safely, right? But a loss is a loss. So we want to make sure we don't lose track of what got us there in the first place, okay? Reducing risk and becoming more conservative, if you would, is sometimes good and sometimes it could be evil as well. We want to make sure that we have the right risk tolerance in mind, right? That's one thing we want to make sure we get right the first time. So having a good, well-rounded, diversified investment plan is very important in your retirement as well. Taxation. One of the silent killers to a portfolio, of course, is taxes. So we've always used a mountain concept of showing people that there's two very distinct phases in a financial life. The accumulation phase is where you're putting a lot of money in, but a lot of that money is what's called qualified. It's pre-tax dollars. Uncle Sam has always said, you know what, pay me now or pay me later. That later is 70 and a half when we start creeping up to what's called required minimum distribution, hovering around 3.65% of our qualified dollars. So we want to make sure that we have a very strong tax plan in place in retirement as well. Because when you start paying yourself and filling that gap with your own retirement dollars, that money, again, has never been taxed. So maybe we'll look at a Roth conversion at some point, understanding that taxes over time could go up. But again, working with our CPA and working with our firm, that's one of the big pieces that we make sure we don't miss, is making sure we have a very strong tax plan in retirement as well. Understanding that there's longevity risk involved with retirement. Understanding that technology is probably its greatest and it's going to get greater over time, which means we're all aging and we're all living longer. Some of us probably know somebody that's over 100 years old. We've got to make sure that our dollars stretch that far as well. So longevity is something that we look at. I think anybody can do a really great job, even yourself from Excel, can do a really great job of building a retirement plan that works for today. Even putting in inflation in there so you can understand what the dollars would look like over time. But I think routinely what we do, and a lot of advisors do as well, is we don't calculate that longevity risk in that portfolio as well. So it's something that we've always done a great job at, and we will continue to do that as well. Legacy planning, understanding the purpose of the portfolio, understanding the legacy need in the portfolio, making sure, again, looking at taxes, making sure that if there is a need to leave wealth, making sure that we're getting that wealth to the next generation. We want to make sure we understand the desire for your legacy. Is it to pass wealth to your heirs in the most tax efficient way possible? Is it a trust? Is it you want to make sure that there's health, education, maintenance, and support there for your family? Making sure that you're not dumping money on your loved ones because it could hurt them, but making sure that it's an income stream that they never outlive as well. These are the 5 main pillars of the retirement blueprint. The goal is making sure you understand working with a firm that has a defined process and a structure to follow means the world in retirement. If you've got any questions about how these pillars or one of them can benefit you in your life, in your retirement, pick up the phone and give us a call. Stay tuned. There's more show to come.
The Retirement Halftime Show. Maintain your lead in retirement.
I'm Alexander Joyce, President and CEO of ReJoyce Financial. If you're in retirement or near retirement, with all life's changes, it never hurts to get a second opinion. Managing expectations is the foundation of a prosperous relationship. Our goal is simple. We want to get to know you. So pick up the phone and make an appointment for a complimentary visit. There is no cost, no obligation. We simply want to get to know you and see if we can add value to your life in retirement. We can discuss topics like income planning, sequence of return risk, taxes, and estate planning, Social Security maximization, and much more. Let us help you develop strategies that can develop a successful retirement. If you want to know more about successful retirement strategies, then call now, schedule a visit, and let us help you rejoice in your retirement.
The Retirement Halftime Show. Maintain your lead in retirement.
You're watching the Retirement Halftime Show. I am your host, Alexander Joyce, and of course with us, as usual, Alex Clark, our co-host. And I wanted to pick the topic today, right? Okay. And I think that we get questions from our viewers, and I would always ask our viewers if there's something that interaction is good, right? Sure. So if there's something that you think others could relate to, maybe it's a story, maybe it's a common situation, maybe it's something we said on this show, or maybe it's something we said last show, and this show reminds you of what we said in the last show, give us a shout. I think that we always want to get people's questions answered. There's no other reason why someone would tune into a show like this if these topics We're not top of mind. So I think that my topic today is titled Our Tools.
Okay.
Right? What is in our tool shed or toolbox per se? Because we live in a, and I'm sure everybody can relate to this, we live in a day and time where technology is at an all-time high, right? I mean, my kids are, I'm always telling them to go outside and ride your bike. I mean, they're so in tune. They can probably use the iPad or the iPhone better than I can, right? So what is truly, what to expect when we are in the process, if you would, of building a plan for anybody, right? So somebody comes in, we've got a chance to know them. We've got some information. We've got some statements, if you would, and we're in the beginning process of building a plan. What are some of those steps that we look at, Alex?
Yeah, you really hit the nail on the head, Alex. Tools, right? You can't build a house with just a hammer. Yeah. It won't work.
Right.
So it's vitally important for us to have state-of-the-art tools, Morningstar, things that we can help design plans where, as you mentioned in an earlier segment, stress test.
Sure.
Right? Those are important pieces. Designing out through software technology ways that we can look at things holistically, not just a one-track mind.
Okay. So one of the things that because I hope that thus far, and a lot of individuals watching the show are probably familiar with Morningstar, and we have a lot of other pieces, right? A lot of other tools, but I think probably a lot of people can relate to Morningstar. They've been around for a very long time. So a lot of what Morningstar does, as you just mentioned, is look at things, the intricacies of what's inside of that portfolio or what's inside of a particular fund holistically.
Correct.
Right? It breaks down. I mean, we certainly don't want to get into ratios and Sharpe ratios and PEG ratios on a show like this. It's just too much. Right? People want to know what's in it for them. How can we help them? Right? Are we a good fit for them? Right? How can we relate to them? Right? Do they like us? Right? And I think that's one of the things we want them to take away. But the other piece is we have to leverage technology in our firm, because this isn't the old school pen and a pad and turn over the recommendation,
right?
Or as we mentioned before on a show like this, it's a mutual fund or it's an ETF or everything is the same. And so we look at something like Morningstar, or we look at building a plan, looking at, of course, inflation and how inflation takes a toll on the portfolio, or a projected rate of return, how sequence of return can play a part in that projected rate of return.
Being able to know how historical returns are going to affect.
Exactly right. Looking at historical returns.
Or if somebody says, hey, in 5 years into retirement, we want to take a major withdrawal to buy an RV, a lake house, fund some grandkids' colleges, right? Being able to leverage that technology and show what that would look like. Yeah. I mean, that is key.
Yeah, because it is going to affect the averages, if you will. Sure. Nothing goes in a straight line, right? Except for the last 10 years, right? So, but that's the thing, right? Because people want to know how RMDs are going to affect the portfolio. If they're taking out 4%, RMDs kicking at 3.5%, Social Security kicks in at 70, for her 66. You put that average return of 7% in there, how inflation over a period of time is going to kick in. You need that income to come out. How is that going to look in the next 25 or 30 years?
Yeah, you're exactly right.
People need that.
Yes.
And so we talked about stress tests. We understand that there's going to be volatility over their lifetime.
Yes.
Right? We understand that the market's going to come up, the market's going to go down. There'll be some flat years, some great years, some bad years, and we want to understand how volatility over time is going to affect the overall returns as well.
Yep.
So we stress test the portfolio. We look at things like that. We look at what has happened historically, whether it's oil shocks or interest rate hikes, and we talked about these things. But we want to make sure that, again, expectations are managed. Their risk tolerance is in the forefront of our mind.
Yep.
Inflows or outflows are in there. They have a rock solid plan in retirement, and they have peace of mind, and we can review it over time.
Yeah.
Alex, great topic. Folks, if you have any questions about that, if you want more information about these topics, reach out to us. Right? We love hearing from you. Until next time, stay tuned, folks.
The Retirement Halftime Show. Maintain your lead in retirement.
There's some things in life we can always get back. Money, that's one of them. But time, that can never be replaced. Your kids, grandkids, they don't care how big your house is or the type of car you drive. The time they spend with you, that's what matters most. Allow us to help take your financial concerns away so you can enjoy the more important things in life. Call us today at 317-903-9157. Schedule a no-obligation visit and rejoice in your retirement. I'm Alexander Joyce, President, CEO of ReJoyce Financial. Getting the education you need for a successful retirement is key. That's why I've written my second book, Rejoice in Your Retirement, Everything You Need to Know to Get Everything You Want. The book covers topics like identifying the income gaps, new ideas for investing, taxes and retirement, your legacy beyond dollars and cents, and much more. I've written this in an easy-to-understand format so that just about anyone can get the most out of it. To get a copy of Rejoice in Your Retirement, Everything You Need to Know to Get Everything You Want, you can go to Amazon. But if you're one of the first callers, you can get a complimentary signed copy of this book just by scheduling a no-cost, no-obligation visit. This book is packed with information that will help you get the most out of your retirement years. If you want to know more about successful retirement strategies, then call now. Education is key. And let us help you rejoice in your retirement.
The Retirement Halftime Show. Maintain your lead in retirement.
You're watching the Retirement Halftime Show. I am your host, Alexander Joyce, and of course joining me is Alex Clark. Alex, we always like to take time and get our viewers' questions answered, right? They call in, they email, they have questions, and we always encourage our viewers to keep the questions coming. So at this specific moment, we like to get those questions answered. What are some of the questions we have?
Yeah, the first one we've got is Julie from Carmel, and she would like to know, am I okay pulling 5% annually from my IRA?
Sure. Julie, that is a good question. I'm sure you're probably familiar with the 4% withdrawal percentage, and how that works is basically going back in time. What they've done is they've said if you pulled out 4%, as a withdrawal from your overall portfolio, indexed for inflation, the likelihood of you outliving your money is very unlikely. There's been a lot of research and a lot of study, especially in today's economic conditions, where there's an argument to say if that's true or not true. But without speaking with you directly and having a one-on-one visit or a consultation, the first thing I'd want to know is your age, right? Making sure we're past that 59 and a half mark to make sure that you wouldn't give back 10% of that distribution to the IRS, being that there is a penalty for a premature distribution at or before 59 and a half. The second thing would be making sure that you're understanding the tax consequences for that withdrawal, okay? We want to know a little bit more about your overall situation. I've always said that when someone starts coming down the mountain, if you will, and they're at the point where they want to start taking a distribution, we need to better understand what the income foundation is in terms of if you've got a pension, understanding what your Social Security is, understanding if there's a way to maximize those benefits. We also want to understand what your lifestyle is. So if your income foundation is 30 or 40,000, and your income or your lifestyle equals 80,000, well, clearly we have a 30 or $40,000 gap. So we want to make sure that we're filling that gap the best we can, making sure that expectations are managed, and make sure that we're goal-based planning as opposed to just shoveling away 4 or 5% from that pile of money. We'd like to look more at a holistic plan, if you would. So I hope I answered your question, Julie. What do we got next, Alex?
Next, we've got Tom from Greenwood, and Tom would like to know, what are 3 retirement strategies I should know?
That's a great question, Tom. One of my favorite places, right? Greenwood. I think we've had some great success there. So one of the things, Tom, that you should know is there is a million strategies, okay? And it's really hard, again, just like Julie, it's really hard to define, if you will, what strategy best works for you. But here's what I can tell you, okay? From general financial planning or planning one-on-one, the first thing we want to look at is your Social Security, okay? So that's strategy 1. Depending on your age, of course, we want to look at strategies to look at reducing taxation if there are, look at the provisional income, which is your earned income plus half of your Social Security and your tax-exempt income. Of course, taxation on Social Security is 0, 50%, and up to 85. So we want to look at that. We want to look at your marital status and see if there's ways to maximize those benefits, give you good advice in terms of that. The next thing we want to do is we want to, which is probably the most important thing, right? We want to make sure that our risk adjustment is in line with your overall risk tolerance, okay? The way we do that is by running proper analysis in terms of stress testing the portfolio, running Monte Carlo analysis to make sure that the probability of you outliving your money is very, very low, slim to none. We look at past historical events of what's happened in the overall market compared to how your portfolio is positioned. So we want to make sure there's asset allocation, diversification, correlation, of course, is a big piece of that. Asset allocation, as we mentioned. And the next thing we want to talk about, strategy 3, is, of course, as you age, we want to mitigate the sequence of return in overall risk tolerance on longevity. Okay. Having said that, RMD on your qualified money and so on down that road. So Tom in Greenwood, I hope we answered your questions. As I said, there's a million strategies. Those to me would be the top 3 without knowing you. I hope we get the opportunity to shake your hand. Alex?
Alex, those were all great questions, and we look forward to more coming in.
We do. And so what I would recommend is keep the questions coming. If you've got questions about your retirement, if you've got questions about the 3 strategies, or when you or if you should take 5% or 4% and how it relates to you, don't hesitate to call. We look forward to hearing from you. Stay tuned. There's more show to come.
The Retirement Halftime Show. Maintain your lead in retirement.
I'm Alexander Joyce, President and CEO of ReJoyce Financial. If you're in retirement or near retirement, with all life's changes, it never hurts to get a second opinion. Managing expectations is the foundation of a prosperous relationship. Our goal is simple. We want to get to know you. So pick up the phone and make an appointment for a complimentary visit. There is no cost, no obligation. We simply want to get to know you and see if we can add value to your life in retirement. We can discuss topics like income planning, sequence of return risk, taxes, and estate planning, Social Security maximization, and much more. Let us help you develop strategies that can develop a successful retirement. If you want to know more about successful retirement strategies, then call now, schedule a visit, and let us help you rejoice in your retirement.
The Retirement Halftime Show. Maintain your lead in retirement.
Thank you so much for watching today's Retirement Halftime Show. If you've got any questions about today's show, give us a call, go to our website, and remember, maintain your lead in retirement. We'll see you next time.